Hello and welcome back to On Your Beauty. Today's video is going to be something slightly different. I've talked before about doing more lifestyle on this channel and this may be a touch of that, frankly. It's just a bit of a do's and don'ts of the workplace, or do's and don'ts of a new job, whatever you like to call it. I know a lot of people are graduating at the minute and maybe going straight into work, or they've got the summer off and whatever else, and I thought, well, you know, I'd share my experience. I have been in the workforce for a fair old amount of time, and because I've been changing jobs more recently, just until I find the right role, basically, since I got made redundant, I was checking out other jobs, and it's still all fresh in my brain, and I thought, you know what, I'll share that. There's bound to be some advice in there, and clearly I am aware it's probably pretty obvious, but the fact that I have still seen it in my years of being in the workforce, some people may be missing the point, or maybe aren't aware of their behaviour. So this is just my opinions, so I hope I don't offend anybody. I shouldn't. I don't think there's anything offensive in here, but if I do, I'm sorry, but maybe worth investigating. Anyway, let's get on. I'm going to start with the don'ts. I actually printed stuff off, and because I was typing it up and I wanted to get it out of my head because it just swirls around in there. So I'm going to start with the don'ts. I don't have very many, and as I said, they're going to be glaringly obvious. Sorry, I'm in a really fidgety mood today, so if I'm playing with my hair, my watch, my rings, it's because I'm a bit fidgety today. First one, gossiping. Now, this one should be pretty obvious, but the fact that there's still gossiping going on in most workplaces means maybe it's not entirely obvious. Try not to get sucked into it. Don't become the office gossip. It's very rare that the office gossip becomes anything more than what they are. You won't be trusted. I know for a fact that I would never trust the office gossip with anything, including work or my personal information or anything, because it would be around the office in about 5 seconds flat. And it's quite outdated behaviour, I think, in this day and age. People are, yeah, I suppose it still goes on, but don't get sucked in. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life. It just drags you down, and then you take on somebody else's opinion of, say, X, Y, or Z over there, and you think, oh, that must be true, that must be what's happened. You have no idea of the backstory, you have no idea of what has gone on, you have no idea if the office gossip is actually a royal pain in the backside and causes a lot of friction, which is often the case, sadly. Don't get sucked in. If you have to, and you're in a situation where you're making a cup of tea and office gossip is in the room and gossiping at you and trying to get you sucked into a conversation, try and change the conversation. Talk about a TV show you're watching, talk about a book you're reading, talk about, oh, I'm going to be going and doing this activity. You know, keep it general. You can say, I'm going to go snowboarding, or, you know, I would love to, I was looking at holidays the other day, wouldn't it be great to go on holidays? Change the conversation. Or just nod, smile. Do not agree with anything, don't get sucked in. Leave the room as soon as you can, basically. You don't want to be in that person's company. And if you change the conversation often enough and excuse yourself from these conversations often enough, that person will likely take the hint and not try to keep drawing you in. The next one is whinge. Now, this is similar to gossiping. It has the same detrimental effect. Now, do not get me wrong, everybody has a bad day, and we all have our moments where it's like, oh my god, I just want to go home, I'm having a crappy day, or something is going wrong in your life. That's understandable. However, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, there's always somebody that seems to spend all of their time whinging, and thankfully I haven't actually come across that more recently. But it's one that's stuck in my head because there are a few people that are still associated in my head, now that I still don't work with them, with the fact that they're a whinge. And by this I mean they are just generally negative from the get-go. So their outlook is pretty negative. They complain about the smallest things, and the smallest things become these big matters, and isn't it terrible? And it makes me think that they may not have any perspective on their problems, and they get a bad reputation in the workplace because it's not somebody you're not going to go and ask them to help with any projects you're doing. They're not going to be somebody that any particular manager goes to help move things forward, or to get, you know, if things are changing and they want people involved in that. Are you going to pick somebody who whinges all the time? Now, do not confuse whinging, as I said, with having an off day. We all have those. And also don't confuse it with, for example, I will always show, if we do this, this may be a side effect. Are we aware of that? That's not a whinge. That's just pointing out factual information, and you're just doing it in light of, you're thinking of the end user, you're thinking of the customer, and it's like, I'm not whinging. That's not whinging at all. It's whinging is, oh, raining again. Oh, it's so cold. Oh, the air conditioning is blowing in my face. Oh, this chair's uncomfortable, and computer's going so slow, and like that kind of nonsense. Don't be one of those. Don't associate yourself with those kind of people. They'll just drag you down, and you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. I'm very much about keeping things positive in my life and trying to be positive to everybody around me and to share that. The last don't is don't be an arrogant ass. There is nothing worse than somebody thinking they are all that and a bag of chips. More often than not, they're really not. And I mean, they are really not. We have all dealt with these people in our lifetime, whether it's in our own workplace or we are dealing with another company. There is always somebody in your life who thinks that they are the hot stuff. Don't be that person. They are they're more often than not, you will not trust the work that they do because you're aware that they think that they are hot stuff, so they will just like, that's fine, and they'll probably have missed something really important, or they just don't see the bigger picture, and you cannot trust. For example, I'm a software tester by day. If I had somebody who thought that they were a bag of chips and then some, and if you tried to offer help on, say I was dealing with an issue or they were dealing with an issue and I have certain experience in that area, I would say, oh, did you try this and this? This bit of software is really handy. I'm sure you've already heard of it, but I thought I'd let you know in case. If they then reply going, yeah, I'm like, okay, I really do not trust your testing at all. If, you know, they're that arrogant that they're unwilling to take any kind of advice or any kind of hand, yeah, you're not going to trust them. Then there's also the worry that because they think they're hot stuff, they're going to be blind to their problems. They're also not going to be willing to ask for help because they're like, oh, I can figure it out. Or, you know, they get such an ego about themselves that they can't ask for help sometimes, which is a shame. But you don't want to be that arrogant ass. Always be willing to learn from other people, to share information, and just to get on in a good working environment. Again, arrogant people, they're just, I don't trust them, frankly. Now, there's a difference between being arrogant and knowing you're good at your job. I know I'm a good software tester. I have spent years doing it and I continue to learn, and I am still learning every single day because I work with people who are so clever and know so much, and they're sharing that with me every single day, and I can share stuff back. But I'm still in a new job, so I'm learning so much at the minute, but I will continue to learn. In my last role, I still learned of the people. I worked with great people and I learned from them. Don't stop learning. Don't be the arrogant fool who has their head up their backside. Nobody likes that person. No matter how much they go, hey, nobody likes that person. You want to be seen as being good at your job and having confidence in your work, but also being aware of where you may have shortcomings, and also just check your work. You want to be on top of your game, and you want to always strive to improve. So those are the don'ts. I tried to keep them kind of positive. Let's do the do's. That's a weird sentence. There's a bit more do's than don'ts, so that's a good thing. And we're going to cover the basics from the top. Be on time. Be on time. There's no excuse. Well, no, that's a lie. There, you know, if your dog gets run over, or we all have the odd day where we sleep in. It doesn't happen particularly often, but that may happen. Or family emergency or something to that effect. But you generally have your work phone, number for your work. Phone somebody immediately. Contact, however you have to contact them, make sure you contact them. So if you don't have a phone number for your workplace, get one. You don't want to be seen, you always want to be on time. You don't want to be seen as the unreliable person who's always late. As I said, I still have people associated in my head who just were always a wee bit late. And I'm talking like 10 minutes late. Not a big deal, you'd think. But if it's 10 minutes late 4 days out of 5, and then per month, that adds up, and it's like, you're taking the Michael. Like, seriously, you're incapable of making it to work on time. Most of us get there a few minutes before so we can get our machines turned on and grab a cup of tea. Don't be that unreliable person. Again, you're not going to be trusted with very much if you're incapable of making it into work on time. Be presentable. Now this one again is pretty obvious. I work in Brighton and I'm very lucky that I can wear whatever I like. Like today I was wearing my Harry Potter t-shirt, a pair of ripped jeans, which I still have on, and trainers. And my Batman hoodie over the top actually, because it's been pretty foggy. But I was clean, my hair was tied up, I wasn't wearing dirty clothes, I had washed. Just, you know, bear all that in mind. If you're running late and you have to get out the door, wash your teeth and your face. Particularly your teeth. Like really, that smells bad. And also something to note, there is a difference between fresh sweat and day-old sweat. Big difference. One smells horrendous. So, you know, wash your clothes, wash yourself, brush your teeth. Just be presentable. If you're in a more business environment where business suits are expected, etc., you don't necessarily have to wear business suits, but you can wear a smart skirt, or you can wear smart trousers and a shirt, or, you know, just make sure you iron your clothes and things like that. Run a brush through your hair. Present yourself how you would like to be seen, how you want to be, you know, looked upon. You want people to think you're professional, you're here to do your work, you're going to get on with it, you're going to do as best as you can. And just wearing clean clothes and washing yourself is a good indicator that you're capable of looking after yourself, so therefore you may have a brain in your head, so you're going to, you know, produce decent enough work possibly. So, you know, there's that. Now it's back to something, as I mentioned, be positive. I'm a big advocate of this, and it's something I am doing more and more in my life generally in the past few weeks. I don't know if you have seen more in the vlogs that I'm trying to be more positive, and generally in my outlook in life. I've had various life events and I'm just generally trying to make sure I am more positive, because it actually does improve your life. That sounds really, I don't know, maybe people would be like, it's a bit wishy-washy, whatever, but it's the truth. It really is. Being more positive in the office, that doesn't mean be the woohoo, I'm really loud, high fives. No, you don't need to be that person. If that's the kind of person you are, they're generally pretty fun to have about. But just be more positive. Be nice to people, ask how their day is, take an interest in people, say hello in the mornings, actually mean it, like morning, nice to be nice. When you're having a cup of tea, just try and sort of have a conversation with somebody. You don't need to have a big full-on, hi, my name is such and such and we should be best friends. No, just generally be more positive. People will notice you for being more positive. You will bring more life to the place, unless it's already really positive. People will notice you because you're being more positive, and that spreads. It really does spread. The more positive you are, the happier people are. It's a weird kind of loop thing. I suppose it's the same as any. If you're negative towards somebody and you're horrible, they'll pass it on. It's the same. Be positive. Pass it on. It's great. And it makes your work environment much more pleasant to be in, and you can get more work done because people are more collaborative. They're not all, oh, I don't want to deal with that person, they're horrible. You want to work with people, you want to learn from them, you want to move forward in your career. Being more positive is a massive help towards that, honestly. Use your initiative. Now, this can apply, all of these can apply to any workplace. I'm going to use an example from an office workplace. We all have work that we should be doing, whether it's clearing down your emails, organising that, learning something about your job, seeing is there anywhere in your job that, oh, that process is a bit junky, maybe like we could fix that. How could we fix that? Investigate, find out. If you're still learning new systems, go and take the downtime, go and learn some new systems. But using your initiative, you can do so much. Find out where your documentation is stored. Make sure, as I said, you have learnt as much as you can. If you're just not feeling it, why don't you go and I like to get a big bit of paper, A4, and I'll do a spider diagram, and I'll just get everything out of my head, and I'll try and see where are my pain points, how can I fix things. What else can I go and test? What about this area? Does this just need a wee bit more poking? I wonder, do I need to add some more notes about this? Oh, I did that process the other day, I should probably write it up. Use your initiative. If you really cannot find anything, like after half an hour, if you've really not found anything, go speak to somebody. Don't sit there just checking your email. Go and speak to someone and say, look, I'm short on work, do you need a hand with anything I can help out with, or any of the other team I can help out on, or learn something new, or is there anything I can do? Go and ask somebody for something. That is also using your initiative, getting up of your back end and going and speak to somebody saying, look, I'm short on work, I know you're up to your eyeballs, is there anything quickly I can take over? Do it. Where's the harm? Help somebody out. If you can see somebody's drowning in work, help them out. They may but they'll probably take 5 minutes, explain what needs to be done. You can take half of it off their plate. They'll generally be more relieved. No harm in asking. And frank, you just want to make sure you're kept busy throughout your day. And if you're busy throughout your day generally goes pretty quick. It's all good. Be willing to learn. This is something else I have mentioned and I've touched upon, and it's something I just cannot emphasize enough. Do not become so close-minded that you think you know it all. No. Bad place to be. That's a bad place to be in life in general. You are never done learning, and if you are, you should probably just lie down now. Just go lie down in a darkened room all by yourself. You're never done learning, frankly, and I hate to think of the day that I am done learning. Now, there is a saying that you have not lived unless you've made yourself a hypocrite at least once in your life. You can say, oh, I know that. Turns out a couple of weeks later you maybe don't know it as well as you thought you did. You should probably learn some more about that. It's okay to make mistakes. It's also okay to ask for help and to learn from somebody else that will know better than you. I had to ask for help today a few times because I'm still learning the new systems and I still want to learn the new processes. And in the first few weeks you're generally overwhelmed with information and it all gets mushed, and unless there is good documentation in place, it's hard to then go and retrace the information and find out what you need to know. So ask. Always ask. Or maybe not always ask, maybe check if there is documentation, then ask. I like to try and figure things out for myself, and if I can't, I'll ask. Recently I've had to ask a bit because I've not necessarily had access to all the information and I was overwhelmed with everything and there was no other option, and it's entirely fine. Somebody answered the question in a few minutes and it's done. So ask, be willing to learn, don't be so arrogant that you think you know it all, and just do keep learning. Always just generally keep learning, but particularly in the workplace you need to know your stuff inside and out and back to front again. So keep learning. I would also recommend training if it means in your own time and it's a career path you want to follow. Do it. Spend your time. Like this evening I'm going to go and meet up with other software testers. 1, to socialise and meet other software testers. 2, because their processes are going to be different than mine. They know different types of testing than I do. I'm not an omnipotent in regards to software testing, and I've yet to meet anybody who is. So always be willing to learn. Do as much training as you can in your career. Move forward. It means you will probably drag others with you because you're like, this is brilliant, you should see it, isn't it great? You will get them enthusiastic as well with that. So be willing to learn, be enthusiastic in your learning, move forward, all good. And the last one, and it doesn't matter which way around you do this, socialising. And that could be when you're having a cup of tea in the kitchen, strike up a conversation. I'm aware it can be intimidating when you're new into a workplace to just start saying hello to people and, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name, I'm Anya, I've started in this role, how are you, what do you do, what's your role? Do genuinely speak to people. Majority of people are open to conversation. There are a few people, and I have met them, that maybe will look at you as if you've got 20 heads and how dare you actually open your mouth to me. Those people aren't worth the time of day to you, frankly. They're not worth the hassle. That's entirely fine. Just brush it off. They're not worth even worrying about. They don't know you as a person. Let them judge you. It doesn't matter. Their opinion is no issue of yours at all. But in regards to socialising, definitely if people are going for drinks and you can afford it, like some of us may be skint in the first month because we've just started a new job, but if you can afford it, go out for a few drinks. Do not get completely drunk. I say this, and I'm sure I've probably done it in the past myself. I've learnt from my lessons. The more somebody is like, oh, it's fine, we were all drunk, in their head they're going, wow, they really can't handle a drink. Oh my god, you should have heard the stories they were telling you. We all do it. It's not abnormal to think like that. We all do it. But I think it is definitely something that maybe not in your first month or two. Don't do it, it's not worth it. Wait till you've actually made good friends with maybe a few colleagues, and if you're out for drinks with those and a night out, no bother. But if it's just going for a few drinks after work in your first week or two, it's maybe not the best idea in the world. So yeah, there's that. But that's it. I hope if you are starting a new job, it all goes absolutely brilliant for you. I hope if you're searching for a job, I hope you find one, and I hope it's a really good one. I hope it suits you. Generally, I just I hope you enjoy your work environment, and if it's a bit crummy, try and improve it. It can be done in some instances. You can be really positive and help change things around, because maybe there was just a grumpy guts there prior to your getting there and they just ruined the environment a bit. Just try and shed fresh eyes, fresh light on it, and make it a more positive place. But those are my things for do's and don'ts in the workplace. What are yours? Do you have any that I've missed? Undoubtedly you do. Let me know down below, I would love to hear it. But I'm going to run on now because I've got to get to the meetup in 20 minutes and I'm already, I need to go. So I'm going to shoot on. Thank you so much for watching. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you like these sort of more lifestyle chatty, advicey sort of videos, let me know down below, and I will catch up with you very soon.